Hey there, righteous people. What is good? Derek from BOM Socks with more BOM-BITES, where we feast upon the words of Christ, and as always, we do it one bite at a time. So, I want to give you a little context of what's going on in this, this whole sections 41 to 44. Specifically, I want to focus on what's going on in section 43. So, in order to get some good context here, I remind you, as always, go to Saints. Saints is a great resource. I hope you're utilizing it as you're studying the Doctrine and Covenants this year. It really gives you that context. You go to your Gospel Library app and you click on Restoration and Church History, and then you go to Doctrine and Covenants Study. And then you can go to historical resources, and what this will actually end up doing is, as you go in, you can see the various sections that are going on here. They go perfectly with the Come Follow Me resources, and you can get exactly what is going on in church history during this time period. Okay, so with regards to using Saints, you can go to chapter 10 of Saints, and this is kind of where we're at in church history. Now, to give you some just some very simple context in the section heading of section 43, it says, at this time, this is February 1831, at this time some members of the church were disturbed by people making false claims as revelators. Now, we can get a little bit more in detail with that in Saints. It says, due to the missionary labors of the four missionaries finding and baptizing Sidney Rigdon and his church, which we talked about that, more than half of the church was now in Ohio, which is one of the reasons why the Lord commanded the church to gather to the Ohio. So Joseph Smith and other leaders of the church were still trying to get everyone moved there. Joseph himself was not there yet, as he was taking care of the young church still in Fayette, New York, almost 300 miles away. So here's what it says. Back in Ohio, the church was struggling. So again, it's only been just a couple of months right here. After the missionaries left for the West, it's like they went in and baptized and just said, all right, good luck, Godspeed. The number of converts in Kirtland continued to grow, but many of the saints were unsure how to practice their new faith. Some of the saints in Kirtland took their beliefs to wild extremes, reveling in what they took to be gifts of the Spirit. Several people claimed to have had visions that they could not explain. Others believed the Holy Ghost made them slide or scoot across the ground. One man bounced around rooms or swung from ceiling joists whenever he thought he felt the Spirit. That'd be interesting. I mean, I guess if you've been to the Deacon's Quorum, that's similar. Anyway, another acted like a baboon. Yeah, right? Okay. So seeing this behavior, some converts grew discouraged and gave up on the new church, and you can totally see why. So in February of 1831, Joseph arrived in Kirtland, Ohio. Upon his arrival, he found that the saints in Kirtland had been deceived by false revelations. For example, there was a woman named Mrs. Hubble, and she came among the saints in Kirtland, Ohio. She claimed that she was a prophetess and that she had received revelations for the church, that she knew the Book of Mormon was true and that she should become a teacher in the church. But she was able to deceive some of the saints. Joseph Smith and others were concerned about her influence and about other false revelations among the saints. So the prophet decided to inquire of the Lord about what should be done, and he received a revelation. John Whitmer, who had also recently arrived in Kirtland, wrote, the Lord gave this revelation that the saints might not be deceived. And so you kind of know the context of what's going on here. Now you go into section 43. Verses 1 through 6 should make a little bit more sense to you now. O hearken, ye elders of my church, and give ear to the words which I shall speak unto you. For behold, verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye have received a commandment for a law unto my church. We just read that yesterday. Through him whom I have appointed unto you to receive commandments and revelations from my hand, that is Joseph Smith. And this ye shall know assuredly, that there is none other appointed unto you to receive commandments and revelations until he be taken, if he abide in me. But verily, verily, I say unto you that none else shall be appointed unto this gift, except it be through him. For if it be taken from him, he shall not have power, except to appoint another in his stead. And this shall be the law unto you, that ye shall receive not the teachings of any that shall come before you as revelations or commandments, like this Mrs. Hubble situation. And this I give unto you, that ye may not be deceived, that ye may know that they are of me. So I love those verses. That lets you know right there that only the president of the church can receive revelations for the entire church. Now, there's a few questions you can talk about. I'm just going to put them up here and you can do what you like with them. Even though there may not be people today scooting on the ground, bouncing and swinging from ceiling joists, or acting like baboons, what happens when people act without prophetic direction? It's a great question. Who do they end up listening to for guidance and direction? In fact, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Why is it essential to know that we have a prophet on the earth and that he only receives revelation for the church? There's some great questions there that you can ask and talk about if you'd like to. Well, what I'd like you to do is this. Go back to just the last session of conference, okay? Again, we listened to conference a few weeks ago, and sometimes we don't have a chance to review it again. It's important for us to go back and review those messages. So I would invite you to go back to General Conference and just look at the talks from President Nelson. Now, he gave 4 of them. You can see them right here. There's a welcome message that he gave. What are we learning and we'll never forget? And then he's got that, like I call it, the master class on faith. Christ is risen. Faith in him will move mountains. And then you've got his last talk where he talked about the temples and the building of that. So I would invite you to go back. Just pick one of those talks. Pick one. Doesn't matter to me. You can pick a short one. You can pick a long one. Doesn't matter. This is something you can do after we're done here anyway. But go back and just look through his talks and just see if you can find some things that just remind you that this man is a prophet of God, that the president of the church, whether it's Russell M. Nelson or whether it's Joseph Smith back in the day, can receive revelations and will receive revelations for the entire church. And we've got to listen to them and not these other voices that are out there, because there are a lot of voices out there clamoring for our attention, which leads us to what we're going to talk about tomorrow to finish up the week. Hey, thanks, guys. I hope that's a good little exercise for you, and I hope you enjoy it, and you get to recognize that Russell M. Nelson is, in fact, a prophet of God, and I know that's true. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks so much for sharing. Godspeed. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.